it's Kimmy the Gadget Goddess, and today I want to present to you my first device of 2022. I have always enjoyed imported devices. They offer me something different. They let me explore tech that's not offered here in the States. I do know a lot of people are interested in this device. Well, let me tell you, this phone was shipped on the 26th. Today is the 30th. 4 days. Giztop. I will insert a screenshot for you to see, how that all played out and how much I spent for the phone, because off the top of my head, I can't tell you how much I spent, but it was the cheapest place I could find this device, and then Honey gave you a discount on top of whatever the price was. So here we are, under $1,600 for the Oppo Find N. This is more or less an unboxing and a why I got this phone. I will do a follow-up after I've used the device, maybe after a week or two, because I don't like to wait a couple, like a day. I don't like to wait like 24 hours and say, hey, this is the best phone in the world, before I've experienced enough bugs and everything else, because all phones have bugs regardless of what someone might tell you. When it comes to imports, people usually have a lot of questions. Giztop, as I mentioned before, install Google Play services for me before shipping the phone. Some will have to do that on their own. I did also check on Kai Mobile to see if the bands matched, and more or less it's the bands that I've been using on most of my imported devices. This phone should work well on T-Mobile's network, because that's what I'm going to be using it on. Out of the gate, I'll tell you, sorry for the reflection, because it's a glossy finish. I do have matte screen protectors coming, but as soon as it came up, it says, hey, it's got an update. So I have to connect to my Wi-Fi, and we're gonna get this update popping. So I'm gonna run this update for ColorOS 12, Android 11, and let that roll. And I'm gonna put my information in, and then I'll check back in with you guys, so you don't have to sit and wait for all this stuff like I do. Okay, while this thing is still extracting me, I did notice that it's 8 gigabytes of RAM, expandable, and I thought it was just to 3. That's what the default was. I took it up to 5. So if you take it up to 5, you have 13 gigabytes of RAM expanded. That's gonna be pretty cool to test out. So this phone has its own voice assistant as well, Brino. I'm kind of curious to see how that's gonna work, if it works, because most of the time it only speaks Chinese. Yeah. So that's where we are with that. So I won't be able to use Brino. So special features, I'm just playing around with this while it updates. You have a kid's space, a sleep mode, which is like do not disturb, quick return bubble, we'll have to play with that, and a smart slider, so that looks more or less like the quick apps on the side of, say, a Samsung device. I will, as a sidebar, be pairing this with my Oppo watch. This is the original, this is not the 2. I still have the original. That's another thing for me, like, I keep watches forever. I might not keep phones, but I do keep watches. So I did look up the Oppo Watch 2. I saw where it had some updates. This is the Chinese variant. I don't have the Wear OS variant. I was pretty happy with this watch, so we'll see how this works out. Oppo on Oppo. As a sidebar, I'll tell you, Smart Switch didn't work for me, because I'm going to use this to transfer stuff from my Z Flip to the Oppo Find N. The Oppo Find N uses Oppo phone clone, so that's what I'm gonna download to my Samsung device, so I can get this set up and everything moved over. And that's just an FYI. Maybe Smart Switch works for you. It just did not work for me. And I already have an Oppo account due to my watch. You will have to set up an Oppo account. Kind of like if you use any import, Huawei has its own accounts, Xiaomi has its own accounts. It's just like Smart Switch in so many ways. You tell it which phone's the old one, which one's the new one, and it just starts syncing your stuff across. So let me just say, after a long day of actually setting this phone up, application by application, yes, I couldn't get Smart Switch to work. I couldn't even get the default Oppo app to work with the Samsung phone or the Pixel device. So I manually put each app on this phone, all of them, and now I think I'm ready to play around with the phone. That being said, I'd like to thank you for dropping by this unboxing. I did get the Oppo Find N paired with the Oppo watch. They are good to go. And new color schemes available, okay? My Pixel will remain with the Huawei. So yes, I will be two-fisting it with watches. And I will let you know how this comes out. I can already tell you that there are a ton of apps that look kind of weird when you open them up. You have your bars here. I'm gonna play around with settings. That's what I did when I got my Fold, and everything came out decently. I don't know how that's gonna work here, but you know, it's funny. You have an app like Netflix that comes out just fine. You know, you can use one app and it does one thing, and you use the app and it does something else. But I'd like to thank you for checking out this unboxing and first impressions of the Oppo Find N. I look forward to giving you updates on this device. I am glad to be back in imports. If you would like to hear more about this dynamic duo, take a moment, click the like button, and consider subscribing. Subscriptions are free. I do have memberships. Memberships cost, and memberships have privileges. I'll catch you on the next video. Holla!